going nuts. I mean, it's really such a joy seeing Mitchell's friends come together. You know that Mitchell is friendly, and he just had friends. There's a reason we call ourselves the Mitchell and Friends Foundation, because he had friends. And he still does, right? And one of the great things about Mitchell is that he brought his friends together. He had lots of friends in little different groups, and he brought those circles together. I mean, we got church friends here tonight, right? We got other church friends here tonight. We got after school friends here tonight. We got hospital friends tonight. We got lots of hospital friends. We got 2 hospital friends tonight. We got Afton school. Did I say Afton school friends? Okay, yeah. Well, you had those friends too. He just had friends. I don't have to go down the list. He just had friends. So we're just grateful for you to be here. I'm here to give you the final plug, and then we'll get back to trivia. But if I may, a couple quick words. No, a couple quick words. A few long paragraphs. So being the parent of a child with an ultra-rare disease is an interesting experience. I mean, 7.7 billion people enrolled. And your kid gets the ultra-rare genetic disease that, as of now, we only know of 18 people who have. What are the probabilities of that? 7.7 and 18. It's 1 in 427 million, in case you're wondering. Now, of course, there will be likely more kids diagnosed as genetic testing becomes more available. How many more kids will be diagnosed? Not sure. Could be dozens, could be hundreds, could be thousands. We don't know. But it will always likely remain small. And this is good, because you don't want people to have Mitchell syndrome. But it's not good because it won't necessarily get the support, the resources that every illness needs. In fact, the relatively small number of people that have Mitchell syndrome raises a really interesting ethical question. Maybe if you remember high school, you remember a guy named John Stuart Mill? You might remember John Stuart Mill? Who knew that you were going to come get a social studies lesson here tonight? But you're going to remember John Stuart Mill. John Stuart Mill is what they call a utilitarian, who believes it is our ethical responsibility to do the greatest amount of good for the greatest number of people. When it comes to how do we live our lives, what good do? We do the greatest amount of good for the greatest number of people. Honestly, John Stuart Mill would say that what we're doing tonight is not that. We should be helping cancer research, be solving world hunger, now working on an illness that currently, as far as we know, affects only 18 people. John Stuart Mill, God bless him, would say that what we're doing tonight is a tremendous, wonderful waste of moral energy. And it's not a bad question. Why do we work so hard to help so few? It's an honest, fair question. 3 quick answers to that question. First, you can't think about it like that because that's just not how medical research works. We have set a goal of raising $150,000 for research in Mitchell syndrome at 2 different labs. Buccelli's identifying someone who can help us do that research. And we know that research might not just help Mitchell syndrome kids, but other kids as well. And in fact, one of the drugs that they want to test on Mitchell kids was actually developed for somebody else or another type of illness. This is just how medical research works. You just never know where the research is going to go. But more to the point, it might seem that this is a lot for 18 cases, but you just can't think like that. Helping people is not a math calculation. This is our story. This is our story. We're just going where the story goes. In fact, this isn't just our story, this is our calling. I remember the moment, it was about 9-10 months after Mitchell passed away, I remember the moment when Michelle and I were standing in the kitchen and we realized what we were going to be doing with the rest of our lives. We knew at that moment what we were going to be doing with the rest of our lives. Doctors were sending us new families, new patients. They were looking for help. They were looking for guidance. They were looking for hope. And we knew that the 2 of us were like the people on earth. The people on earth who could help them in that way. So we said yes. We also said yes knowing that we had friends behind us. We would not said yes to this calling unless we knew that we had friends willing to go there with us. We do genuinely feel called into this, but we kind of feel like you've been called into it with us. I don't know if you realize that, but you're part of the cause. And we can't do it without you. That's why you're here. But the third reason, and we'll get back to trivia, or at least taking an admission. The biggest reason that solving this rare disease is still worth it is because at the end of the day, every single person, every single one of those 18 kids on your tables deserves our best. You just have to serve the people in front of you with everything you have, especially the people you love. You just can't think like a utilitarian. You have to serve the people in front of you with everything you have, especially the people you love. I don't want to sound like a preacher, but...
Too late. You can't help it.
I can't, I happen to be one. Yeah. There's this guy.
What's his name?
You'll learn it. We got a Jesus 101 category coming up. Yeah. There's this guy who tells this story in this book about a shepherd, right? And the shepherd has 100 sheep. You know the story. He's got 100 sheep. One of them goes missing. Develops a rare genetic illness. What does the shepherd do? You know what? I learned in John Stuart Mill class that I gotta stick with the 99 because that's more useful. What's he do?
Goes after the one.
Builds a foundation. Starts a website. Calls up his friends and says, we're gonna go rescue that one sheep. We couldn't. We tried. We couldn't. It's all right. He got rescued in other ways. But there are other kids who need rescue. They're on your tables. They have genetic illnesses that they don't deserve to have. They're part of our story. We can help them. We can help these kids. We really can. Now how can we help these kids? Ask me the question that you're dying to ask. How can we help these kids? Let me hear you say. Lots of ways. So real quick, you can raise awareness. Even if you don't give a dime tonight, the more you know about rare genetic illnesses, honestly, the better off I think the world is. I mean, this is just a reality in the world. The more you know, the more you can raise awareness, the more you can help people. Wear your swag, follow us on Facebook, raise awareness. Mitchell syndrome is a thing. The more people know about it, the more quickly kids get to diagnoses. I mean, it took 7 years, right, for us to get to that diagnosis. The earlier you can get there, better off you are. Secondly, stay informed. You can go to our website, you can scan the QR code on the back of that table centerpiece and subscribe to our monthly newsletter. It's a monthly newsletter. I promise we're not going to overwhelm you with fundraising pleas and all that stuff. Just stay informed and we'll keep you abreast on what's going on. Thirdly, you can fundraise. There was a little girl in New Jersey who sold lemonade to raise money for Mitchell syndrome. You can do that. Even if you can't donate anything, maybe ask for donations to Mitchell and Friends for Christmas. You can do that. Man, what do you need for Christmas? You got everything you need. These kids don't. Also, you can plan on attending our next trivia night. So we've already committed to the Saturday after Labor Day next weekend. Not next weekend. Let's do it again. Yeah. Next year, first Saturday after Labor Day, September 9th, we're going to scale up. We're going to look for a larger facility. Put it on the calendars. Make sure that you're there. It'll be a great event. And then, of course, you can donate. As I've said, we've set a goal of raising $150,000 for research into Mitchell syndrome for 2 labs that are going to do really important work. This just needs to happen. That money is going to be used to pay for doctors and lab time and equipment to do what needs to be done. There's some drugs they want to try. There's some trials they want to do. And we need money to pay for it. It's just the reality. It's already working through your generosity. We've actually already given our first $25,000 check to WashU. Michelle walked it over to WashU's office, and that happened because you guys were part of the effort. I think it would be great to get us close to that next $25,000 that's due tonight. I really think we can do it. So we're going to take an intermission in a minute, during which you can scan the QR code if you'd like, make a contribution on our giving page. We know of 18 people right now in the world with Mitchell syndrome, so this is brilliant of me, I think. I've set all the giving increments to $18. Oh, I know, 18. So if you want to help one kid for $18, you can do that. If you want to help 3 for $54, help 5 for 90. Yeah, I want to help 10 for 180, right? You get how the multiplication works there. Yeah, all sorts of options there. All gifts are tax exempt, you should know that. Mitchell & Friends is a 501c3 organization. Whatever you decide to do, whatever you decide to not do, really, we're just honored for you to be here. Just by being here, you really are helping us defeat the rarest of rare diseases. Thanks for being part of the story. That's it for me. We're going to take 10 minutes, have an intermission, go check out the raffle, scan your codes. We'll pick up soon. Thanks for listening.